DJs with T.Brown.
What do you think makes a good DJ?
Someone that can make you say, dang, I really wanted to listen to that. I really wanted to hear that song, or damn, I haven't heard that song in a minute. Or just transition for real. Like, if you can creatively transition from one song to another and no one else would have thought of that.
Mm-hmm. With you constantly doing events every week, how do you keep having new sets?
I mean, of course, sometimes you're going to duplicate transitions, but just making yourself uncomfortable. Like, I practice with techniques. I'm not as good with techniques as I am with CDJs. So I only practice with techniques to try to make myself. It's harder to spend with a technique than a CDJ, in my opinion. When you hear something, you're like, oh, that would sound good with this, and you try it. If it works, boom. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
What do you feel like DJs in the area could do more to help local artists?
It's not so much the DJs, actually. It's the artists have to give us something to work with. You know, if you're giving us songs that sound just like the next person, if it's not mixed and mastered well, because if it's not mixed and mastered well, it makes us sound bad. Artists, if you want to seriously push a single, have an edited version, like a clean version, give us some leeway. And if you really want to cater to a DJ in a DJ service package, you should have your single with an intro on it. Which people don't know what that is, but what you do is you loop your beat and give us about a good maybe 10 to 15 seconds of just the beat before the song starts. Because what that does, it makes it easier for us to spin the record, and it makes us, feel like we should spin the record because it's more professional. So in the DJ pool sites, which is like the sites that we subscribe to that gives us music, when a single drops, the label will submit it, and it'll be the regular version, which is just the track, dirty. Then there's a clean version. Then you have clean intro and dirty intro. Intros is like, you just get like a nice chunk of the beat with just the beat. And you only send that to DJs, because obviously artists will still get beat that way, but the DJ will spin your track if there's an intro.
For artists that are trying to get DJs music or get you music specifically, what's the most professional way that they should go about doing that?
A service packet. I mean, I get DJ service packets in my emails all the time from Cornell Holder. He's really good at that. Any artist that he's working for, he's putting out there, he sends professional service packets. And that matters. I got designers Panda packet way before it was on Kanye's album. Like probably almost a year, maybe not a year, maybe like a good 8 months before the song. Cornell sent me that, and I literally I tweeted him after this record was like blowing up, and was like, Cornell had me this record a long time ago, and I heard it and remembered it because he sent it to me the right way. It sounded good. It was mastered well. I know when I get a record from Cornell, I'm gonna listen to it because he does it the right way. Explain
to the viewers what exactly is a service packet and how it should be set up.
It's like a watered down EPK, what EPK is, entertainment press kit. So it's like you get the album art. You don't get the album art. You're gonna get a clean, dirty version, and then if you're really on it, you're gonna get an intro, an intro version, and it's just gonna tell me about the record a little bit, whatever. But it's pretty simple. You're just you're making the DJ feel like you want to send it to them.
And should each be specified to each DJ, right? It
doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be personalized. Just sending me a record the right way. The DM that says, hey, listen to my record, we get that all the time. That's a bit annoying. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to listen to it. If it's an artist that I recognize and they say, hey, yo, peep my record, I'm going to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, tons of artists send me the music, my friends and everything. They just text me, yo, check this out. I'm definitely going to listen to it. But if I don't know you, my email's in my Bible for a reason. Use it. You know?
So emails over DMs any day when it comes to artists you don't know, trying to reach out to DJs.
Because my DM is going to pop up on my phone. I could be sitting at dinner with my mom or something. That's annoying. When I sit down and I'm doing business and I want to look at my email and I see that, that's the time when I want to listen to your music.
Exactly.
If I'm on my phone, now I got to, actually go to your sound. Like, just send me the service back. And I'm going to listen to it.
When you're listening to new music, what are you looking for that makes a good song to you as a DJ?
Well, I'm an R&B lover, so I listen to R&B nonstop. So there's a lot of people I find that way, but just give me something different. Just as long as it's not the typical And don't get me wrong, I love street music, and I like Q the Fool's records he's probably one of my favorite local rappers right now.
Wow.
You know, you know what I'm saying? I just give me something different. I feel like Q gives a different vibe than
he has his own sound.
Yeah, he sounds a little different, and I like it, and I like his approach. So just something different, just a different approach.
What do you feel like that DJs in the area should be doing better?
Just don't force it. Be open-minded, and just learn technique. Like technique matters more than anything.
Yeah.
If you can't actually DJ, like learn the craft. The craft comes from spinning vinyl, comes from using turntables, it comes from being able to blend a record the right way, cut and mix a record. Like, learn how to actually DJ.
Yeah.
It's not so much just pressing buttons and looking cool on the internet. Learn to actually DJ. Practice. Meet up with your DJ friends and practice.
Yeah.
Like, learn your own style, because if you're just spinning the same records that you hear on the radio, you're not really learning how to DJ.
What is some advice you can give for people that curate events from a DJ's perspective?
Book good DJs. Don't DJs cost money, so you're gonna get what you pay for. So if I want an event and I'm not willing to pay Malcolm Xavier's price, I'm not gonna get Malcolm Xavier's talent. You know what I'm saying? That's my big brother, and his price is higher than mine, but rightfully so. But if I'm not paying for Malcolm X, I'm not getting Malcolm X. I'm gonna get someone else, and if I find that person is $30 an hour, I'm gonna get $30 an hour worth of DJing.
Is there any advice you have for performers in the area that are just now starting to get shows, and like how they should just carry themselves overall when it comes to their shows and their tracks that they're using for their shows?
Learn your lyrics.
Yes.
Learn your lyrics. Don't when you cut a record, if you know it's gonna be a record that you want to push, make sure your engineer gives you a performance track. Just take the top vocals off. You can keep low vocals on it. Just take a top vocal off. It doesn't take that long to make a performance track. Because don't perform with your actual track. That sounds stupid.
And don't lip sync. What do you? I don't like lip syncing.
Yeah, and then a lot of artists, they don't realize, because they're lip syncing and then they get hype and then they start rapping. Now it's overpowering the record. It's just too much. But yeah, and know your worth. Like, genuinely know your worth. Like, I tell a lot of my friends that are artists, I get it. You want to perform as much as possible. But if you perform every week, I'm not coming to see you this week. I'll see you next week. Like, take a break from it. And like, I started paying attention to people like Kilo. She doesn't perform as much. And when she does perform, people come see her because they don't get to see Kilo that often. So, like, don't oversaturate the market with yourself. Like, take a step back and know your worth.
What's some advice you could give for pushing a record? Like, you just made a new record, you feel like it's great, you want everyone to hear it. What do you feel like are the steps someone should do?
Everyone needs a support system. So if you got a record and it's a good record, it's gonna push itself. But just your friends, just help, a nice little unit of friends push the record, and it'll push itself. Like, good music doesn't hide. Somebody will find it.
What is some advice that you could give for DJs that are just starting out now?
Don't be afraid. Like, if you're trying to figure out what this chord does or how to hook this turntable up or what this means, just do it. The worst thing that happen on small gigs is that it goes silent. Who cares? Like, whatever. The people might say, oh, snap, what's the DJ doing? Who cares? Like, don't panic. Just figure it out. Figure out how to hook up the tables. Figure out whether you're a Serato or Tractor DJ. Figure out why your controller is like this. Figure out why your mixer is like this. Just figure it out. Don't be afraid to do it, and do it on your own, because if you teach yourself, you'll appreciate it so much more once you create a style for yourself and create a name. No one will be able to say, I gave you that. I taught you that. I put you into that. Like, do it yourself. Sometimes you get blocked. Like, you get like I don't know what to call it. Like, sometimes if you're not feeling the venue or you're not feeling the party or event you're doing, sometimes you just might go through the motions, and it gets like that sometimes, and it happens. But it's not really difficult once you start to love it. Like, it becomes less of a job and more of a, like, I've had gigs where I feel it's like this is gonna be hard, and like I don't feel it, and then I just snap and I just get into it, and like I've had hard gigs, but it's really just about keep getting new music, keep digging for things that make you happy for real, and like everyone's transitions are different. That's the beautiful part. So everyone has different styles.
How did you get your DJ name?
So when I was young, my father gave me like a collection of vinyls. So I was messing around in my grandfather's basement, and I like found a record player, and I was, of course, I was being a little nosy kid, so I was just messing with stuff. My father gave me like a crazy collection of vinyls, and first record I listened to, I remember, was Cameo Word Up, the Jackson 5 Skywriter record, Michael Jackson Off the Wall, and then I found Midnight Marauders. And Midnight Marauders actually dropped, I think, in 90 or 91 or 92. So it was around the time I was born. My father had bought the vinyl. So found that record, and that was just something that like kind of stuck with me. Started listening to Tribe when I was young. My father was a huge fan, and that album just kind of made so much sense to me, even at a young age. Not knowing a lot of the things they were talking about. And then I love the fact that the rappers always referred to Ali Shaheed and respected him so heavily. And so that's kind of where my name came from. And then being a DJ for a group when I was younger, and still now, but that's kind of the dynamic we had. So that's kind of how my name came together. So, yeah.
What's your favorite thing about DJing?
Probably the camaraderie, for real. Like, the people I've met, the genuine friends I've like acquired off of DJing has been great. Like, all the DJs I'm cool with, we have such great respect for each other. And, you know, from, like, I don't even want to list them, but like all the members of Joy Club, like, they know who they are. Just tons of other guys and girls as well, like, that are just they're like family to me, and that's the best part to me.
So you produce also?
I do. I don't really give it out to people. Like, I produce for the fun of it. Like, the only people that's really heard my production are people that are really close to me. Like, EU has heard my stuff a lot, mainly him. Kyle has heard it, but EU's the only one that like hasn't really heard it. And EU has some of my stuff, but that actually might be in the works soon too. But
so do you see yourself going further with it?
Possibly, but like I feel like producing is something that's it's such a, like, DJing, it's like I'm giving you something that you've already heard, but just in a method that you might not have heard it, or like a specific I'm delivering it to you a way you might not have heard it before. Producing is so much more personal that, like, I would only give my production to someone that I really care for or really want them to work. Like, I wouldn't just be like, come buy my beats. I don't like that. I wouldn't do that, because that's like I'm giving you a piece of me with a price tag, and I can't do that. So
how'd you get involved with Ku Klux Klan?
Well, I grew up with Kyle. I've known Kyle since 2nd grade. Knew Avion as his little brother. Louis, I've known Louis since he was in high school. EU since that time period, but like mainly just Kyle. Like, Kyle always been one of my homies.
What does Ku Klux Klan mean to you?
It just means, it's just being yourself, just originality, for real. Just, me and Kyle's from Northeast. I grew up in Southeast. It's just a brotherhood, different type of guys. Like, you know, EU is who he is no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Kyle's who he is. I'm who I am. We're all so different. I'm the only DJ in the clan, but everyone's so different in their music style that it kind of makes me fit in.
What is your least favorite thing that's happened to you at a gig?
Actually, it was recently, and I don't even know the dude's name, so I can't even call him out for it. But it was this gig I did at Cloak and Dagger, and shout out to John. I love Cloak and Dagger, but he hired me for a happy hour with this other guy that was doing it. And so I'm spinning, everybody's responding well, the joint's lit. The host, I think, was kind of tipsy, and he has a wireless mic, and he's walking around, and while I'm spinning, he gets on the mic and says, I think he said, give me something from St. Louis. So, I mean, there's not that many things from St. Louis that you can really play in a part. Like, I could play Smino, but like, Smino doesn't have that many records that I could play for that crowd, because that's not the crowd that's ear to the streets for real. So I have to play Nelly, like, I have to. So I dropped a Nelly track. They responded well to it, and so I'm mixing. I'm in the middle of mixing, and then he screams out, "Play some reggae." So I did it, But like at this point, I'm like, yo, you can't DJ from the floor, bro. Like if you gotta tell me something, come up here and say it. Don't do it. Don't put me on the spot like that, because like that's just disrespectful for real. Like come up there and be like, yo, could you throw some reggae on? I'd be like, all right, cool. I throw some reggae on, but that just blew me. And then he just started saying, he was like, I MC for some of the best DJs in the city. And I say, who? And then, because I'm just humoring him at this point. I know he doesn't. So he said a DJ's name, and I never heard this guy before. Never heard of him. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, just move. Just get away from me. Just get off the booth. And he's like, I'm not leaving the booth. At this point, I'm like, yo, you gotta get the hell out the booth. Like, the fuck out the booth. And he's like, this dude is like this tall. I'm not the tallest guy. But like, the dude is like this tall compared to me. I'm about to pick at Cloak and Dagger, the DJ booth was real high up. At this point, I'm about to pick his ass up and throw him or some shit. But I'm gonna stay calm and shit. I'm gonna chill. The owner comes upstairs. He sees me irritated. He diffuses it or whatever. And I told him, I was like, tell your other DJ to come up here and spin, because the event was about to end and then they were about to switch to another DJ. Yeah. I was like, I'm done. Tell him to come up here and spin. And I just like left. And the joint went silent. So I was like, yeah, nah. That was probably one of the worst experiences I've had.
What are some of your goals for this year and the next few years?
So I eventually want to get to a point where I can like kind of just model what Rob Stone is one of my like role models. I don't know if you're familiar with Rob Stone. He started Cornerstone Agency and he owns the Fader. Yeah. He was able to like create relationships with people, and people trusted him with marketing their music and all types of avenues of creativity for real. And like that's one of the things I want to do. Now whether it's exactly that way or another way, that's still to be determined, but like he's definitely someone I want to kind of follow.
How did you start working for the Fader? How did you get involved with it?
One of my good friends, Penelope, she was working with them, and she actually has an entity called The Hierarchy, but she knew that I was like, you know, doing some of the same things she was doing in terms of like shooting for venues, and like, because I actually used to just do photography like years ago, and the Fader had some openings for like, they were trying to get people in the production team, but they were like doing the thing called like the Fader Farm, and so they pulled me into the Fader Farm, and I went to South by and worked the Fader Fort, like last minute. And so I was working the Fader Fort, and like my second day there, they came, like, we need some people who can like do sound. And I was like, I do that. And so
that's what I do.
They pulled me off of the wristband tent and put me on production. And so from then on, I did production at the Fader Fort at CMJ's in New York at Rubber Tracks, and that was cool. And I got to meet tons of people, but Penelope's basically how she pulled me into it, and then like I took my opportunity and ran with it for real.
How did Joy Club start, and how did you get involved with it?
Actually, so Cam Dooley and Malcolm Xavier, they started like their duo. They were doing a party together, and it was kind of just, they were doing that Velvet Lounge, and they were just doing a duo, like 1-2 punch thing. And then they grabbed Kels, and it just started like a little clique. And then they grabbed me and Brian. But I went to high school with Malcolm Xavier, and so that kind of just, me and Kels knew each other since way back, and then Brian went to school with Malcolm in college. Cam went to Howard, but her and Malcolm were cool. And so kind of we just meshed that way, and then we added Bacon Bear. So that just worked well, and we're all just genuinely friends. That's the best part.
How did you first start DJing?
I've always been heavily influenced by my father's taste in music. My father's an R&B head, so just being around music, I never really, like, I tried rapping when I was young, like super young, but that just wasn't what I liked. I liked playing with sounds, and DJing just felt right. So, and I love vinyls, so it kind of just worked that way. And I could not destroy my grandparents' needles on their record players anymore, so
I know they're happy.
I had to buy the real stuff, so yeah.
How old were you when you first got your first gig?
Probably, it was 16, 17. I was DJing at Crystal Skating Rink, like doing like teen nights, and every now and then I watched Norman do the adult nights, and that was like my first gig for real.
How do you feel about the gentrification in DC, seeing as how you've grown up around it?
There's good sides to it, and there's bad sides. Like the area around the elementary school I grew up, like P.R. Harris, that whole area, it's like the whole neighborhood's fenced. It's like straight down, like Livingston and 3rd, at the bottom of the hill, you go straight up 3rd, it's like all fenced in and stuff now. That's different, and like that sucks because a lot of memories from around there are gone for real. And like even what they did to Willow Road, where like that whole block is like ghost town now, like that's different. But like some of it's good because like now you got 8th Street that's like becoming what U Street once was, kind of, in terms of it's a different outlet for people to go to have different types of events. And as a DJ, it's creating money for us, but gentrification does eat up the area, like takes away from what black people have and what, not even just blacks, minorities in general. But so there's good points and bad points, and it doesn't benefit us money wise unless you're talking about jobs. But it's gonna happen. DC's small. It has to happen.
Yeah.
All that's gonna happen is it's gonna push everybody out, and then the suburbs are gonna stretch out, and then Waldorf won't be a flight away anymore. So my parents are divorced. My mom moved to Maryland when I was like in school or whatever. My father was still, you know, in the city. My mom moved to Suitland. My father was still in the city. I grew up in P.R. Harris. But like this area as a whole, like I think I was blessed because my parents were divorced and I lived in different places. So like from Southeast to Suitland to Forestville to having both sides of my family in 53rd Southeast, 30th Southeast, 3rd Street South. Like I know people from the whole area, even as far out to like Lackey and like Waldorf and like Fort Washington, Oxon Hill. Like I know so many people, and that as long as I'm a genuine person, I rub people the right way, I don't have that many issues. And so like that's really what DC means so much to me, because it's just that as long as you're a good person to people and rub people the right way growing up, you don't have problems when you're older.
Because you're a Sag.
I guess so. I'm not really into zodiacs, but I'm really just people who know me know that I try to treat people the best way possible.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But still not really the type of person you want to test, but you know, just keep it pretty cut dry with people. For real. I'm pretty simple. I do what the fuck I do. If you don't like it, fuck you. If you do like it, I love you. It's pretty simple.
Marauder. See this money all around me. I look like I'm the man.